Izzy Morgan and Charlie, done. We're going to take questions. We're going to start with an opening statement from the head coach, and then we'll go to questions for the players.
Hi, yes. Thank you guys all for being here, but just really proud of our team. I thought that we really set the tone in the first half with our defense. I think they had over 20 turnovers at halftime, and, it was just the intensity that we showed up with. We knew that was going to be really important. We were thrilled to be in the building for this tournament, and we wanted to make the most of it, and I thought in the first half we did a great job setting the tone. Obviously, we had, Izzy Morgan really step up and kind of take over there in that third quarter, and Charlize Dunn kind of carried us throughout. But it was a total team effort, for us to out-rebound that team. They're obviously one of the best rebounding teams in our conference. And for us to really, in some ways, kind of, find a way to win without a great shooting night, I think is huge for our program. So, with that, just couldn't be more proud of our team and the effort that we played with. And, we're excited to be playing here tomorrow.
Questions for Izzy or Charlize? Yes.
Daniel Frank from Dayton Talk. Congratulations on the win. It was a very dominant performance from you guys, maybe not in margin, but forcing 29 turnovers, and you guys took 31 more shots today. Here's what you all saw out there with that.
Yeah, I just feel like we just started off with really we were just really tough to begin with, and that carried through. We didn't take a backward step, and that first quarter just really kept us going the whole game. But yeah.
Yeah, we always emphasize having a lot of juice to coming into games, and so we tag, we pressure, have a lot of pressure up the floor. We try to just absolutely hound the other team. We want to make them exhausted, and I thought we came out with a lot of energy, which was great, and that caused a lot of turnovers, caused a lot of chaos on their end, which was awesome.
For either of you, and this is Natalie covering with the next, do you think the press conference of the day figured that out? But by my count, first A10 tournament semifinals appearance for Davidson. What does that mean to you? And to be part of it and come back from having not been in the tournament last year to now this.
Yeah, I think we're all incredibly grateful just to be here. First of all, it means a lot. It's this team has definitely put in a lot of work, but we know the job's not done, and nobody is getting complacent with where we've come. We know that we need to take every single possession by possession, every single moment. We're just living in it wherever we are. We have such an incredible group, and I'm so thankful to be here with them, and I'm just really excited to see what we can keep doing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's huge. This time last year we weren't even playing in the tournament, so that just makes it mean even more for us. So, yeah, we're just having fun, but yeah, I'm really proud of this group. We're making history this season, so yeah.
In the A10, you guys have spoken about this already, having not played last year. You guys haven't played since you were underclassmen. What's kind of difficult about going into that? And how did you guys overcome that mindset today of not being here since you guys were underclassmen and now here as seniors?
Yeah, I mean, this is my first A10 tournament, so taking in every moment. But yeah, a lot of trust in our seniors and our coaches, but it just means that much more, I feel.
Yeah. I think as well, this team is really good at overcoming adversity, and we know how to do hard things, and tournaments are really, really hard. But we try to be the most cohesive team in the country. I'll probably say that 100 times, but I really think that where we get to is because we do it together, and because we do it so cohesively, and because we do it with toughness. So yeah, we haven't been here in a while, but that just makes every single moment even better, makes you even more present because you know that it can be taken away in a heartbeat. So yeah, just very, very happy to be here.
You guys get George Mason in the semifinals. Both of you will be playing for your first ever A10 championship appearance. You guys spent the regular season with them. Izzy, I know you missed the game in Fairfax, and then, but both teams had notable injuries for both games. I'm curious what you guys think the key will be in this third matchup with George Mason.
I think it's toughness and rebounding. I think when our team plays tough and we play aggressive and we come out with a lot of juice, then really great things happen for us. And once again, just doing it together, sticking together, playing tough. Because George Mason is a very tough team, but I think we're a really tough team as well. So that'll be a really good matchup, and we're really excited.
Hi, Kelly Burke, CBS Sports, for Izzy and Charlize. You've talked about how you want to be the most cohesive team in the country. How have you seen that really play out on the defensive end, besides the turnovers you're forcing over the last 10 games? You're giving up less than 49 points per game in that stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say like our togetherness, like we just have so much trust in each other, the way that we play together. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think as well, like the energy that we bring is contagious. Like when one person has juice, it like we each feed off it. Like we love each other. Like when I see Candace get hype, when I see like Kira, Mallory, Charlie, like when I see them like getting up in someone's grill, like it makes you want to do it as well. So like we feed off each other a lot, and like the energy that each person brings is very contagious, and the energy that G instills in us before the game is absolutely contagious as well.
Question in the first row.
Hi, I'm Jane Campbell from News and Davidson.
Hi, Jane.
It's been mentioned several times that we weren't here last year, but it was not because you were not an outstanding team. It was specifically due to injury, and you guys had to forfeit the end of the season. So with that as the basis, and I mean, you had a start to an outstanding season last year. I mean, beating some notable teams in their own house. Literally that. Can you put that into perspective for this year?
I think the message that we have come away with is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it's been like pretty obvious for us. We had a pretty rough go at the start. But I think everything happens for a reason, and it teaches us invaluable things that we use now that we're here, and we need to continue to keep doing tough things. But yeah, it was awful not being able to go last year, and we never really got to gel, and we never really got to see how cohesive we could be last year. We've had such an incredible group come in, and we've just got to gel together over and over and over again and learn how to do things different ways, because it's not like we haven't had any adversity this year. But just being able to grow together as a team as the season goes on, and trying to peak at the right time, and knowing that we need to keep getting better and better and better as the season goes along, I think is really what has carried us so far.
Ladies, I think we're going to let you go back to the locker room now. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much,
And now
guys.
we'll take questions for the coach, please. Questions for Gail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, I'm curious on your thoughts on the start of the game, especially you guys really jumped on them early, forced 20 turnovers in the first half. What was the defensive scheme that you guys entered today with?
You know, it wasn't that much different than what we've been doing this season. You know, we've been able to really, I think, take teams out of their pace. And Dayton likes to play fast, along with several other teams in our league. And, you know, with the way that we kind of go about our defensive system, we've been able to kind of control pace. And today, you know, that pace rattled them a little bit, you know. And, you know, I think that the consistency that we did it today is kind of the key, right? And that's what we need the rest of the tournament.
Questions in the back row?
Amanda, A10, just you guys have split the series at both against Mason, won one game, lost one game. You know, what lessons do you think the team learned from that game that will help you guys tomorrow in your first semifinal?
Yeah, you know, I've got so much respect for George Mason. You know, their head coach and I have known each other a very long time, and just have a ton of respect for her. Vanessa has done a tremendous job building that program. You know, and they've got some great players, and I think we've got some great players. And, you know, I thought that the first go-around, you know, it was a battle of some great players, and they came out on one end. And, you know, our kind of, you know, last game against them, you know, we had some players really step up, you know, and I think that's the cool thing about both of our teams is that there's a lot of weapons. And, you know, we've got to show up ready to play. I know that they'll be ready, and I know that we'll be ready.
Natalie, in the front row.
You know, similar to what I asked the players, you know, from not getting a chance to show what your team was capable of last year to now, you know, first double bye, highest seed, and now advancing to your first A10 semifinals. What does it mean to you, and what do you want to continue to show that maybe people haven't seen before?
You know, I'd say that, you know, last year was really hard. You know, there was a lot of anger, you know, kind of associated with not being able to finish with that group. That was a really special team. And, you know, that kind of was something we had to deal with and kind of address in the offseason. And, you know, the 4 seniors that we have, along with anybody that was part of this program last year, you know, I think really kind of said, hey, this is actually a new year. Like, we don't need last year hanging over our heads. But let's not take anything for granted, you know, and I think that, you know, what you're seeing is just incredible senior leadership. You know, Thomasine, Izzy, Millie, and Mallory have just led us every single day, and they've done it together. You know, none of them are perfect. I tell us all the time, but we're a bunch of imperfect people trying to do this thing, and, you know, they just really balance each other out well and just have so much respect from everyone in our program. But I'd say that, you know, their just willingness to like be shoulder to shoulder with our staff and everything has just been unbelievable. And you're seeing that now. You know, we're in a spot we've never been in because I think we've, you know, been able to overcome things that we've never, you know, like at a different level. And it's been the for their leadership that's just been tremendous.
Coach, this kind of gets talked about a little bit every year, but the 3 seed has a really difficult turnaround getting ready for the first 1:30 tomorrow. You got like 15 odd hours. What does that time period look like for you guys?
Good question. You know, we need to rest. We need to recover. You know, we're fortunate that we played George Mason just a couple of weeks ago, so we're pretty familiar. Obviously, they've got Kennedy Harris back now, so slightly different challenge. You know, but we need to rest. We need to recover. You know, it'll be kind of business as usual. You know, got to eat, got to hydrate, got to sleep, got to stretch, got to roll out. I mean, just do it all. But the big thing is that, you know, we're just going to continue to have so much joy together. You know, I think that this group's just had so much fun, and, you know, we might be a little tired, but we won't be tired at 1:30 or whenever that tip is. So,
Any final questions for Coach? If not, Gail, thank you very much for your time.
yes, thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.